Hello folks, this is Steve AB4EL. My car's parked over here. There's my Deep River. This is the Faith Rock Trail that I come for my heart health jogs. I had to go back to the car to get my camera because I got it right about here. And as I'm trotting along, I'm looking down there and I see something that I know I want to go back to the car. And even though it's not the best light because we're getting toward sundown, I just had to show you this. Now, this is something that actually months ago, last year, when the busy Beaver was doing all his stuff, I showed you. Now, the reason why I'm not waiting for bright daylight, you never know when they're going to come with saws. And it might be all gone. Now, I haven't been here in a couple days. This happened within the last no more than 3 days. No more than 3 days. I'm going to blame the solar eclipse yesterday. What am I talking about? 2 years ago, I show you how the busy Beaver gnawed away at that and then forgot about it. And then last year, when he was working, I showed you this right here. You remember? I'll insert. Let's pause for a moment and I'll show you what it looked like. All right? Now, this has been waiting to fall. And it was being held up by this guy right here. One of these guys here has been holding this up. But now they said, yeah. Okay? It's a good thing I wasn't standing right here when it happened. Timber! Now, let's look at something. Remember, I'm an Aggie, so I kind of notice. Now, I want to stay away from these. I want to be sure I'm grabbing the right thing. You see this branch right here? See this branch right here? Do you see the leaves? You see the leaves? Do you see the branches there with the leaves on it? What does that tell us? Something that should be obvious. Was the tree dead all of this time? Now let me tell you that the busy Beaver first did some and then left it for a year and then did more. And the more was to do it so there's only this left for this winter. Now this chipped and broke off. There was still conductive xylem and phloem. Those are the two feed layers of the living higher plants. And that's the reason why the leaves were coming out, because the tree upper part, even though it's starving, is still alive. But a candidate for death. See the lichens? See how the lichens were all over it? They knew the end would be eventual, but there was still some life left that there's actually leaves sprouting. All right? So, eventually, Somebody will come out, cut this up and split it for firewood after they dry it, or something like that. Can't leave it to the busy beaver. Is this busy beaver? No. That's porcupine. You notice that only this bark layer is gone, and there was no attempt to actually do what was done here. This is a beaver. They want the sugars, the sweetness of the food transport layers that's just under the bark. I'm making a contrast. There's a lot of things here. All right? Is this tree going to die? Yes. Why? Because the beaver has done it all the way around, and we have lichen, and this tree will die. Eventually. Dry out and die. But you notice that the beaver did, it wasn't a beaver that did this. The beaver does it that way. The beaver's interested in the wood. The porcupine's interested in the sugar. Pardon me for lecturing you. I'm an Aggie. Okay? So, we just say goodbye. Steve A.B. for you. Just loving nature. Saying see you in 73.